All right. Welcome to Real Talk TV. So I'm going to find information. So today's topic is women's health, mental health specifically. Let's see. Please make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel, share this video with as many people as you possibly can. Leave a comment in the comment section. All of these things help my channel to grow. I am not monetized yet. I would like to be. And your support by hitting the subscribe button definitely helps me get to my 1,000 subscribers. I am don't want to put too much of my business out there right now, but it is very appreciative to the channel that you support it. Let's see. If you like any of my videos, please subscribe to my channel. Please. I'm begging you. Yeah. Welcome. Please leave a comment in the comment section to let me know that you are here before I get started. Because I don't mind waiting for a few more people, but I need to know that I have your attention. If not, I'll just continue as if no one is in the room. And I don't like doing it. I like for people to come up. Y'all know me. I like for people to come up. Let's see. Let me reach out to my girl Ivy to see if she's available. And Nosy. All right. And then, should I let Yemi know? Let me see. Because if they come in, it's going to be on and popping. All right, let me hit up Yemi, see what she up to. And then I'm going to get this thing started. I'm going to put some meditation on. Y'all know how I do. I'm going to put some meditation on while I'm getting started. My meditation. So, let's see. Okay, girl. YouTube Studio. Oh, my channel. Videos. See, I had it all categorized in playlists, but it's not. Something happened to it, so I got to do it all over again. All right. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Let's see. Videos. Why can't I find my meditation? Okay. Let's try. Which one do I like the most? I like the ending of this one. Okay. You're watching Real Talk TV. And this is 365 Days of Affirmation. I will rise with the sun, vibrant. I will rise with the sun, vibrant. I will be happy when I rise. I will smile. I will smile. I will say, I claim this day. I will say, I claim this day. I will mean it when I say it. I will mean it when I say it. I will groom myself. I will groom myself today. I will eat healthy today. I will eat healthy today. I will be optimistic in my thoughts. I will be optimistic in my thoughts. I will be goal-oriented within my schedule. I will be goal-oriented within my schedule. I will accomplish the tasks I've set for myself today. I will accomplish the tasks I've set for myself today. I will complete them effortlessly. I will complete them effortlessly. I will make time to inhale slowly. I will make time to inhale slowly. I will make time to exhale with my eyes closed. I will make time to exhale with my eyes closed. I will let go of all the thoughts that take away from my happiness. I will let go of all the thoughts that take away from my happiness. I will say to myself, the events before this moment are in the past. I will say to myself, the events before this moment are in the past. I will accept that today is a new day. I will accept that today is a new day. I will say, today is a new day. And I will rise vibrant like the sun. And I will rise vibrant like the sun. All right. Deep breath, ladies.
That felt so good, girl. That felt so good. Yes.
Thank you. This is why I love y'all.
Yes, I love affirmations. I need them.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So, this is what I want to say. If you want to give me affirmations to put up here, and I credit you, please let me know. I will take them, put them up here, for you guys.
Cool.
Sweet.
Until we do what we about to do, nosy.
Yeah, definitely.
So
Definitely.
I love it.
yeah,
Yes.
this is the place for sisterhood. Um, good morning, good morning, good morning, good
Good
morning.
morning.
Amen.
Tell me what y'all been up to. How was your weekend? All of that.
Hmm. You could go first, Nosy.
Oh, okay. Well, I've just been, just been looking up information and trying to get myself together. I told you I'm returning back to work, so I'm trying
Yeah.
to get my house in order before I even start this venture. I'm just hoping that it just works out for me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's
Okay.
just where I'm not stressed because I can't be stressed.
How long have you been out of work?
Oh, for a long time, girl.
More
For
than the pandemic. Longer than the pandemic.
yes.
Wow.
But I
Okay.
have I have like side jobs, or I would work
Mhm.
a moving company during the summertime, things like that. Like I work the board of elections, but that's only during election time, right?
Right.
So yeah,
Little spurts of work to hold
yeah,
you over, but this is gonna be the first like
yeah.
long.
Because I was offered a city position, so I'm like, I'm going for it. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Yes. So I'm gonna do it because that's what I've
Mhm.
been looking for. Because I can't work retail and I can't do that.
Right.
And I've worked every job known to man. I even did bikini waxes, girl. It was horrible. Waxing is horrible. It's a hard, yeah.
Really? I started to be a bikini waxer, but I was like, I ain't trying to get next to nobody cooch.
I studied esthetician, to be an esthetician, and child, like touching on people. I went to school for massage therapy, but touching on, you get people's energy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they teach you how to return their energy before you leave them. Like it's a real thing. Like somebody's energy coming into you. Like it's like, and yeah. So I was like, nah, I don't want to do this.
To me, it was the smells.
Oh, it'd be the smells. It'd be the infections.
That's right.
People come in there to get waxes and know they got, they have, they got STDs.
Right. Ooh, that is some experience right there.
Child. And sometimes, and waxing is hard.
Right.
And then downstairs, sometimes people don't even cut it. They'll come to you full blown afro. You gotta trim it down before you get the waxing. Come on now.
My goodness.
Why you can't trim your own stuff down?
See, I can. I'm too shy, embarrassed, and all.
It'd be the cutest one, smelling like fish. Girl, please.
That's something else. That is something else. I would never.
Listen, listen. I'm glad you got the job. I hope you like it.
Me too. I just need that income to get this equipment, girl. That's what I'm thinking about.
Okay.
I'm thinking about our long-term dreams.
What's your Cash App?
My Cash App? Nosy. Nosy Bitch TV.
Can I put it in the chat without getting strike? Without getting a strike?
Yeah, why you say that? Why would you get a strike?
Go ahead, put it in the chat. Nosy is interested in starting a channel like all of us. Well, she has a channel. She has 2 channels. I mean, she's trying to grow her channel. Please, if you would like to support Nosy's channel or the growth of her channel, she's gonna put her Cash App in the comments in the live chat.
Give me a second, y'all.
I gotta come over there and catch Nosy one day, man. Listen.
Yeah, 'cause I was gonna go live today because it's a lot going on.
I was about to ask you. You haven't went live in a while.
I know, 'cause I told you I'm still shy. Y'all think,
right?
Like I have to force myself to get up on here.
You heard me say what?
Yes, I be scared.
What? Okay.
Her personality is the bomb. If this is her shy,
right.
Yeah, I'm wild. But I gotta get used to, like, you know how you go somewhere and you just like, wait a minute, I gotta know who's around me first. You gotta get used. Yeah, you gotta get a comfort zone. But yeah, I'm shy as hell.
I'm the same way though. I can't even front. I'm introverted, so, and people won't know that about me unless they really get to know me that I'm introverted. Yeah, so I'm the same way. I feel you.
Oh, somebody wants to say hi, y'all. Let me see.
Who's that?
Hi. Slow turn. Suspense.
Oh, hey there.
That baby.
I hope she had better than mine.
No.
Because this one be sneaking in my son's bed. She be pissing me off. I gotta wake up in the middle of the night to find out where she at.
Ivy, how was your weekend?
Girl, I spent my whole day on this damn computer trying to do a homework assignment. I had to do a 10-page essay. Ooh. And I'm not happy, girl. I was just frustrated. I wanted to throw my computer against the wall. I was so damn done.
The question is, y'all know I'm filled with questions. Jeez.
You got it done though, right?
Yeah.
But the question is, when did you get the assignment?
I got the assignment last week, but the research for it was so intensive. I can only do pieces of the research a day at a time, literally, because you have to find scholarly sources on the topic. Then you have to speak in a certain voice. The essay can't be in a place of judgment. You have to speak from a outsider's view perspective, like you are probably like the authority on the research. You have to speak like you have the authority on the research. So I had to I had to constantly change my language. It was it was a struggle. I'm not gonna lie, it was a struggle, right? It was about, women. I had to find a correlation between women in a egalitarianism country compared to a non-egalitarianism country, and how we pursue relationships from a culturalism aspect, which means, let me put this in a layman's terms.
Please.
So I'm looking at the definition of egalitarian for people, for myself as well.
Yeah. So egalitarianism is pretty much a country. We are in an egalitarianism country, which means we supposedly, when you take out systemic racism, United States supposed to be a place where everybody's equal, right? Everybody's equal. Places like, these third world countries, like, Muslim countries, that's not necessarily the case. It's non-egalitarianism. It's male, male. So now the correlation I had to make is women in both ends of the spectrum. I had to speak about a Black American women in America, as opposed to in the correlation between maybe Muslim women in Iraq or whatever. Right now, think of it like this. I had to find a correlation of the relationships that we have with our community, because as you know, Black American women, we tend to have the highest rates of abuse, and when you think about relationships, we have the highest rates of abuse and death in the family or whatever, all this stuff that goes on in our families. But we still take on the presence of the community, which means we still stand firm on our convictions. And the women in these third world countries do the same thing.
Really?
Yes. So even though they are likely to get beat up, or likely they still practice their rituals, they still practice their practice in terms of their Muslim practices, they still believe in community. And Black women do the same thing. We still believe in community. Why? Because our children is part of that community. Our children have to grow in that community. So we still very much about the community,
right,
as well as our own families, internal families. But I had to find that correlation. I actually had to do the research to find that correlation. I didn't even really think it existed until I did the research. So it was tough as hell. Okay. It was tough. It was tough. Wow. Yeah.
You know what's interesting is, I don't know if you paid attention to the topic, but that's along the lines of the topic today.
That is very interesting now that you said that, because when I was looking at the topic, I was like, wow, this is going to be a really intense conversation now, isn't it? It's going to be a very intense conversation now, isn't it? But yeah, that's what I did most of my weekend. I sat in my pajamas crying, trying to get this damn paper filled. That's it. Wow. That's all I did.
Wow.
Well,
so
done.
I was
Congratulations.
Yes. First of all, congratulations.
Yeah, my noisemaker. I'm sorry.
Come on, Nosy.
I just made my coffee, y'all. Give me a break. I'm getting it together. Right now.
All right,
we need some applause.
While she get the applause, let me first apologize.
Oh. No, they not still on my thing. Shut up. All right, I had to cut them off, y'all. I'm like, what is Vigo still doing on?
Let me first apologize for not having this live up already. Sometimes I have to feel it before I can talk about it. So I did not know what I was going to talk about until this morning. Shout out to Philly Bruja, because she had did a live about a young woman who is no longer with us because of her own choices. She chose to no longer be with us, or for those who who think that is a choice. And so I can't use the word, y'all know why. But it just made me think about the pressures that women, specifically Black women, but all women have now in this modern day, to be a mother, to be an entrepreneur, to be a businesswoman, to be a wife, a partner. Like it's almost like we have so many hats that we can't just take a mental break.
Right. Mm-hmm.
What do y'all think?
So, so now, was that a question?
Yes. What do you think about that?
So, okay. Now, in terms of mental health, right? In terms of our community, and you say we don't have what now? Enough. Trying to get to context of your question and where it's coming from. I'm sorry. You know.
So, what do you think about the idea of women not being able to just take a mental break?
Mm-hmm. Uh, well, here's what I feel. I feel that I feel it's a choice. Honestly, I had to learn that in my lifetime. I used to carry on the weight of an entire family, not just my children. I had to carry the weight and the financial burden of an entire family. I'm talking about sisters, mother, nephews, nieces. And I thought at one time that this was my life. I had submitted to the idea that I would have to work my ass off for the rest of my life and don't have a break for myself.
Mhm.
um, at some point, I had to stop and do some self reflection and say, no, hell no, because if I don't take a me moment, I can't do anything for anyone. I almost had a nervous breakdown behind that. If I didn't step away, okay, I would have been calling y'all from the mental clinic right now. Okay. So I had to walk away and take and demand my own self autonomy. I had to take a look at myself and say, this is what I want for me now. Those mental health breaks and those times to myself, I take it gracefully. I walk into that. So I feel it's a matter of choice. Um, I think people need to really pay attention to their mental health and say what is causing these things in me. Why am I feeling this way? You have to ask yourself that question, and then you have to take a deliberate act towards it to do something about it. Not everybody's going to be able to do that depending on their vibration, but um, then you just have to have a great support system who's going to tell you that you need to take that break and help you take that act. You know. But I don't know. What do you feel about that, Nosy?
Well, I never had a support system, and what I learned is that I have to do what makes me happy,
Mm-hmm.
and this is why haven't worked in a long time. This is why um, I choose to be by myself the majority of the time, because it's hard out here, and it's difficult. Period. I think from just growing up, just being born into this world, you like, why was I put here? I know that was the question for me. Like, why was I put here? Like, why is this world so difficult?
Mm.
Like, why everybody don't have a place to stay? Why are there homeless people? Why everybody doesn't have food to eat? Like, it doesn't make any sense. It still doesn't make any sense to me. But it didn't make any sense to me when I was a kid, and doesn't make any sense to me now.
You know what's interesting? That question is so typical of a woman. So, I mean, we all have that question, but I feel like um it's so typical of a woman to want to try and figure out how to not only find the answer but resolve the problem.
Oh yeah, I mean we will, especially when we have children, especially when we have um, a community or support system that we cater to or care for. We tend to ask those questions. We tend to want to make uh, the things better for ourselves and our community. We don't just think for ourselves. We
Yeah.
think for a collective. So it is typical of a woman to think of a collective. Um, and the mental health of that collective as well. So yeah, we would ask those very deep questions, philosophical questions about life and why we're here and what is the purpose of it and why and what, what are our children are going to be raised in, the future of our children as well. So yes, we tend to do that.
All right, I just wanted to give a statistic. So, according to the what did I do? I'm always messing something up. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. According to American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, most people who take, their own lives are white males. So what happens is anyone who doesn't fit that gets kind of pushed to the back. They kind of get forgotten about, because it's more prevalent in white middle-aged men, and therefore there are a lot of programs to try and help them. What do you think about that?
Well, this is why we don't shed tears for white boys. I don't.
Why not?
Because of what you just said. They have the backing. You know what I'm saying? When you, I shed no tears for another color. I don't. Because they have the backing. They have the support that they need. So it's, it is what it is. And at the same time, why they will go bankrupt and jump out the window. They don't know what it is to struggle, a real struggle. And not to say that there's not white people struggling, because we know majority of them are on welfare. But
they struggle. Oh yeah, they struggle.
But it's like, come on.
Good morning, Big O. Big O, do you want to come up?
Well, I feel that in the Black community, the word mental health in itself is the word a taboo. We don't invest in the research, and we don't invest in enough money for mental health for our community, for mental health. Far too many of us are living with family members who are schizophrenic, bipolar personality, all the schizoids. And then we're just like, leave him alone. That's him. Let him do him. Like, if you don't bother him, he'll be fine. We learned how to live around the mental health and work around its functionings. But in terms of the Black community, we just don't talk about mental health. This has been happening since oppression, since slavery. We know that if you just, we live among it and act like it don't exist, then it don't exist. But other nationalities, they understand mental health. They understand that if they invest in the mental health and get people whatever they need to be better, then it'd be better for their community, right? So a lot of us are suffering from all these underlying personality disorders and mental disorders and mental health issues. And we're just projecting that among our family members. It causes long and extended traumas, years. Imagine having a schizophrenic mother, right? Who did all these things to you when you was a younger child. You thought it was normal. The word mental health never rose up in your family. Now, as a result of your own traumas, you're doing that to your own children. You may not actually be schizoid or schizophrenic. So imagine that. Some of these things just need to be talked about way more in our community so that we can give more for our communities for mental health. We just don't do it. As a community, we just don't do it. And other nationalities do.
I think it was more old school. Like my grandparents didn't believe in a therapist. But
exactly.
I do. I went to a therapist. My son has seen a therapist. I don't know, because I believe every single person has a mental issue. This world is hard. I don't care how good your life may be. You know, people could be wealthy, and these kids are out here doing these drugs. They're committing the S word too, but and their lives aren't as hard. So what is it?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's the world, period.
Right.
It's the stress. It's the I don't know.
I think it's trying to solve too many problems. There are so many, so much pressure to solve so many problems these days, that we kind of lose a sense of self. And when you lose a sense of self and you start trying to figure out, how can I make this right? How can I fix this? How can I fix that? How can I make this situation better? You by the time you really start looking at who you are, you're not happy with what you see, or you're not satisfied with what you have, or what you see within yourself. And I know mental illness is definitely plays a large role in what people end up doing to themselves. But I want to go with probably a step backward or forward. I don't know. To say that I honestly believe that it has an emotional component and not just a psychological component. Where the constant feeling of being overwhelmed, the constant feeling of being overwhelmed or not good enough, can also affect that. The access to drugs, access to wealth. I think too much access to wealth and not being able to obtain it also plays a role in what happens to us, and what the choices that we make, and the things that we decide are not worth trying to work out.
I truly believe you. I mean, I truly do agree with you on that. I also want to kind of add to that.
Okay.
We all have that component within us. We have what we call the critical self, right? The critical self is the kind of
Right.
like the chatter, the part that self sabotages us, the part that tells us you're not good enough. It's the voice that tell you don't raise your hand in class, you're going to sound stupid. Don't go and interact with that group of people, they're going to talk about you. Don't leave your job, you're going to end up destitute. It's a continuous self-critical voice that live inside every single person. If a person say they don't have it, then they're suffering from a mental disorder, right? Now, some people hear the voice less than others. Some people don't attain to that scripture, that dialogue that voice tells them, and they live outside of that and just be a better version of themselves, right? But then far more oftentimes, a lot of us just pay attention to that voice, and it does these unconscious self-sabotaging behaviors. And then when we get really, really far down, self-sabotaging can be, transcended across your whole life, where you can unconsciously mess up your job. You can unconsciously have bad relationships with your family, your children. You can do all kinds of self-sabotaging behavior. People think you're going through a whole mental breakdown, and it's just really you listening to the critical self, right? So now, really, what we need to start to pay attention is that the critical self exists, and we need to start talking about the critical self. We need to start talking about the negative chatter that we all have within us, and how to go against that voice and do what we call self-autonomy and self-governing, and reaching out for ourselves, and just becoming a better version of ourselves every single day, realizing that we're going to fail. Right? We're going to have goals that we fail at, and then getting up and just pushing at it another day. Right?
Ivy, I want to save that for the end, for
Okay,
our
cool.
call to action.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's
I was
okay.
just about to go into preach mode, girl. Let me go get down. Okay, Nosy, your turn.
You know what? Absolutely. We want to kind of reinforce, right, throughout, that there is a solution. There is a solution for anyone who is listening to this, who is struggling, who is suffering, whether you are male, female, I don't care what you look like, I don't care what your skin color is, because clearly that's only surface deep. Whatever you are going through, please know that there are so many avenues for you to deal with that. Life coach, therapy. If you don't agree with therapy, there are other ways of seeking meaning in life. So I just want to share that with you. I'm going to do a plug real quick, and then we'll talk more about it later at the end. But I do have a book. It's called 15 Steps to Finding Love: A Woman's Journey. And there are chapters in there to help guide you through the process of rebuilding who you are, understanding what it is about you that you love so much that would keep you from deciding that the S word is an option. So there's so many resources out here, y'all. All right. I did wanna bring up a point to Nosy. You said you don't care about anybody else's race because the resources are available to them. We talked the other day. Remember when we was talking about dating outside of our race?
Yes.
Okay. So my question is, if you were, I mean, obviously this is a hypothetical question. If you were in a relationship with someone who wasn't of your skin color, which you said you could possibly do, or open to dating someone outside of your skin color, and they were suffering from a mental illness, would you then care?
When I say I didn't care,
Mm-hmm.
it's not that I don't care, but how can I care when they already have they have the backing? You understand? That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Not that you feeling some way and you want to commit, go ahead and jump off. No, not at all. Not at all.
Okay, so
like I care about everyone. I care about every.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. I care about every race. But when it comes to certain things, like when we need funding for something, I'm not worrying about nobody else but us. Right. You understand? Because we have to worry about us because we don't have it. Right. We don't have it. And these people don't care about us.
Okay. I just wanted to make a clarification because I don't want nobody to think, you know what I'm saying?
Not at all. Not at all. But what I'm saying is I have to care about our group first. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody else caring about theirs first. No one's caring about us. No one. No one. They do not care. They don't. They are trying to, K us off.
Right.
They are really trying to eliminate us.
The ones who see us as a threat. Absolutely.
Right.
I what's interesting to me is I'm seeing, like, we see throughout this the living how diverse relationships are becoming.
And I love that. And
right.
That's what I want. You know what I'm saying?
And this is what I'm about to say.
That should get rid of racism. You would think and hope, but it doesn't.
I think
people in their own races, they like in our race, like in our group, we are from the lightest of light to the darkest of dark, and we discriminate against each other. Why? I don't know. Like these rappers, they say all the time they want a red bone, or they you know what I'm saying? They don't want no dark skinned girls, and it's ridiculous.
But see, the thing about education is it has to be retaught all the time. Like unfortunately, the self-love, teaching somebody self-love has to be taught all the time. Teaching somebody not to be a person of hate, a person who wants to discriminate against others, has to be taught every single day, every generation. The moment we stop, the ones who are teaching hate are winning. You get what I'm saying? And I feel like the point I was trying to make is the more I see this like diversity within relationship building, such as in dating and marriage and having children, I'm noticing there is more of a push to get behind women and women of color. Does anybody else notice that, or is that just me?
Who's getting behind women of color?
I'm going to just say it. Other races, and I think it's contributed to the blending of families.
Well, I can agree to that only because of my own experience with me doing the codependency recovery. I have a Facebook group, which I would say is predominantly 80% Caucasian, male and females. 80%. Like I said, that's why I'm able to say from a personal aspect that African American people don't really pay much attention to mental health. Soon as I put up codependency recovery, I had an 80% investment on Caucasian people who understand codependency, right? So yes, that is very true. If a person has is trying to do things for not just not just for their own community, but rather a broad spectrum of um, love, or obtaining riches, or something positive, they will have a blend of support. It wouldn't just be the African American community. So yes, I do agree to that. Definitely.
Well, another reason why we don't, I guess a lot of reason why I guess our people doesn't go see therapists, or go to a psychiatrist, is because they can't afford it.
Mm,
You know,
correct. I would have to agree with that 100%. Yes, that is why. The first thing, let me tell you, I'm gonna give you all a personal story. You know, me and my mom, you may find out, I don't know, when I become famous, that me and my
yes, girl.
Speak it.
that me and my mom had a very tumultuous relationship growing up. And um one of the issues was that I felt we needed to go to therapy. And my mom sent me to therapy. And then when I said, no, we all need to go to therapy, as I got older, she said, I just can't afford it. I'm not going. The reason I sent you when you were younger is because it was cheaper.
Wow. Hi, Yummy. Wow.
Hey, Yummy.
Hey.
Yum yum. I know you have a. I know you want to share your thoughts with us.
Please.
Yeah, in the West Indian culture, people don't go to shrinks and stuff because they don't believe in it, and there's a stigma with it. Because when I did the mental health champions, also with so I thought someone knocked my door. There's two stigmas with Black families. Yeah, I think there's two or more, but the biggest one is mental health and AIDS. I think that's the next one for most African families as well. But the mental health one is that it's not spoken about. Like you said before, it's not spoken about. Like schizophrenia, it's not spoken about. They don't know what it is unless it goes beyond what it is to a matter to they go into a place where they have to be, in the get sectioned in, because over here they call it sections. It gets to that level until they get sectioned. So the people will probably put up with it and say, oh, it's just them, whatever. But this time, sometimes it's from younger age. But sometimes, right, you do not recognize it, because I think I noticed that in my son. You don't recognize it. And then it takes them to go to a limit. And then when the system gets involved, that's when it gets recognized as something, because
Right.
they have to do the assessment on them and they have to check them. And like I said, like the catatonia, which I did not know about what it was And then I found out it's schizophrenia, but they just call it catatonia for some reason, because they said it's where they black out, they forget things, and then they start doing things that they don't remember. And there's a variety of symptoms of it.
Mm. So why do you think? But so here's the thing. Here's the thing. At some point there were no psychologists, right? Before, I don't know, modern civilization, there were no what we identify as psychologists. I don't know when psychology, maybe Ivy is very knowledgeable about that. She might know the origins of psychology and can tell us the founding years of psychology and when it became relevant. But what did people do specifically within our communities? What did people do? What did women do when it came to psychology? Sorry, when it came to mental health, or did they just kind of use religion to help them?
Wasn't people being abused, Ivy, before?
Well, it depends on what. Okay, so what group are we talking about? Because everybody in across the world approached mental health differently.
I'm glad you brought that up. I keep forgetting that the United States is relatively new in terms of civilization.
They are. You got some countries who tie their mental health, they tie their people up and put them in sheds.
Right.
You have people. And yes, Yemi, thank you for addressing the catatonic schizophrenia. That is a rare mental disorder. There's different levels of schizophrenia. The catatonic schizophrenia is probably the most acute version of schizophrenia. And they do catatonic, meaning they do kind of black out. They do go into, they hear voices. They're not part of the reality anymore. Some less acute may just feel that they have a godlike complex. They feel like they're on top of the world. They go through mania. They go through several stages of mania.
So like most cult leaders I know.
Yes. And so they.
But my question, but so why is someone suffering or someone displaying different behaviors, why does it always resort to a mental illness? Why, I just find it hard to believe that everyone is suffering from some type of mental illness because they may be going through something in their lives.
I mean, I would agree with Nosy when I say a lot of us suffer from something. Now, some way less acute than others, right? Some is clear, some is not. Part of my journey to self-healing is realizing my codependency, right? Mm-hmm. That in itself is a personality disorder, right? My tendency to gravitate towards broken people, my tendency to want to fix people who are not emotionally available to me, right? So that's part of my own childhood traumas that I had to learn to work through. So a lot of us suffer from a consequential mental illness due to our childhood, right? So depending on how we were raised, right? Then you got the genetic version of what people suffer from mentally, which would be kind of passed down genetically from family members. So it's, if you have a person who's schizophrenic, you could probably trace that they had a schizophrenic grandfather, something like that in their past, right? But nobody ever diagnosed people. I've been around people who have never been diagnosed. They are clearly suffering from something, and they never went to the mental health clinic and got diagnosed. And it's like you're a full-blown schizophrenic, and nobody ever told them that, right? So really, life is about finding that in yourself. And when you're schizophrenic, you would never think you were a problem anyway, at all, right? Those personality A's, they never really think they have a problem at all. They really do subscribe to the voices that they hear in their head. That's part of their reality. But who are we to question their reality? That's their reality. Now let's go into universal conversation about mental health, right? That's their perception of the world that they're living. that they're living in. And we're telling them they're crazy. The question is, are they? We
Right.
live in a really questionable world about what is truth and what isn't truth.
Facts.
We're all online searching for an answer to something. Isn't that in itself its own mental illness when you think about it? Right?
Yes. Yep.
So we are all just gravitating towards each other to find a deeper answer within ourselves. We're looking for an answer from within ourselves about the world that we're living in.
So to my question again, what did people do before um the world of technology, where we can go outside of ourselves, where we can go outside of our direct communities to search for healing? What did people do? And I'm
Well,
just saying,
that's a good question, because prior to that, we didn't have evasive medicine. People had witch doctors, people had natural medicine remedies. There was plants that you can get a person to calm down their mania back in the days. You understand? We're not privy as a people to those, to a lot of that information. Do you know why? Because we were the scholars of that information. We were scholars to the plants, the medicine, natural medicines. We were scholars of that back in the days. And before oppression, before we were enslaved, think about what happened over in what was that country? I'm sorry, I keep forgetting. What happened in what country was that?
what happened? And maybe I can
Haiti,
think.
Haiti. Think about
Okay.
Haiti. Think about Haiti. Think about what happened during their when they were invaded by the British. What happened? They
Mm,
used medicine. They used uh,
witchcraft.
witchcraft to get the people out of there, right? So there was a law placed in that African American descent to never give us the knowledge of
Right.
plant life and medicine, natural medicine. So we were able to use a lot of this natural herbs and everything to help our people when they were suffering from things, right? We also didn't demonize them when they did see things, right? We thought that they were talking to gods.
That's
We thought that they
true.
were talking to the Anunnaki. We thought they were
We call them
talking to,
oracles and all
right.
everything else.
So we did ascribe to that the same thought process that some of these schizophrenics have about them being gods. We believe probably that they were, right? Because they talking to something outside of this realm. So we just had, as time progressed, we had a different understanding of mental illness. And then roughly around the 1930s, there started to be more people, scientists wanting to get further into understanding the workings of the brain and the human mind. Right. And that's when, of course, they started categorizing mental health and categorizing personality disorders and providing all of this medicine to heal people. But when you think about it, the medicine is $1 billion industry in itself, right? So there was a way to capitalize on this information, that was being provided. Let's make a medicine for these people who are ill, right? But prior to that, it wasn't really as evasive as it is now. It was not.
They was drilling people's heads while they was
Yeah.
alive. They
And that
was
started in the
torturing them.
1930s. That started in 19, and that was all just for the efforts of science. Really, they wanted to pick apart the brain, so they would drill. This was all just experimental, just experimental.
They was torturing those people.
Yep.
I can't hear you, real talk.
Sorry, y'all. I didn't realize I was on mute. I find this interesting because now that I think about it, look at Yummy's background. I'm sorry, that's just
That's cute.
Yummy,
oh,
yum, yum. That's my girl.
I find this very fascinating because what you just said made me think about something. What if, and I listen, let me tell you, psychology is more realistic to me than religion. Science is more realistic to me than religion, right? It helps me think rationally. To me, it's rational. However, when we think of all these diagnoses, right? You just said we didn't call the person who could see visions crazy. We recognized that they could see visions. Today, we have so many illnesses for so many different behaviors or thought processes that it's almost like you said, it's big business. It's almost like it's big business to declare everyone to have some form of a mental illness.
Yes. Yep. And they give you them drugs to make you even more crazier.
Yeah.
That's
Or
what
they
it is.
give you, they not only do they give you drugs, but they can take away your ability to drive. They can take away your ability to work. And so now they're creating like this, a
Brainless zombie.
a brainless zombie, or somebody who
Yep.
truly believes there's something wrong with me. There's no fixing me. Forget it. I might as well not, or pay thousands of dollars to seek help. Where do we go? Where is the medium so that our minds can be at ease, our spirits can be at ease? Okay, so here we go. We might as well get into it. What is the call to action for women? Because I love my women. And I hate to hear of someone hurting themselves, leaving this world that we so many people fight to stay in. What can we do moving forward, moving every day? How can we navigate through the whatever is happening in order to see light into the tunnel?
That's why. Well, that's why people is creating sisterhoods and different things, because
Right.
that was one of the things that Queen Afua. Okay, as bad. I know people don't think of her as the best on certain levels, yeah, but she did actually form the way so that the children can look at another woman like a extended family. That's one of the good things about the conscious movement. I can say they have an extended family. If something's happening with, like, i.e., your child, they will get involved. They will do certain things. Some, not all cases, most cases. So that's what needs to happen. And plus, like, it needs, like, the matriarchals, which the women don't take on matriarchal roles, because whatever the reason is. It is a lot.
Too busy
Like,
being entrepreneurs and business women.
Well, there's that. Like, even being a matriarch, you can still be a entrepreneur and businesswoman. There's no limit to it, because the young ones, they need all that. They need all that, and
The young
because
women.
because there is all these things that's going on, like, life is really fast. Life is fast. Like, some days I get up, it's like 10, 11, 12, 1 o'clock. It's very fast. So you have to have people that you can talk to keep you sane. Like I said, I have one friend that kind of is outspoken. You need an outspoken friend to tell you, ABC is either you take it, accept it, don't accept it, or there is that friend, like, containing to do with my son. She was very good. She explained it to me because she was part of the mental health thing. She told me to look it up. She tried to get me to understand the medicines and stuff, because there's certain medicines that they get given, and if you don't know the medicines and stuff like that, right, you don't know the effects. So she was telling me, like, ask them to send you certain things, try and understand it. So once I understood it, then I'm able to say, okay, right, he's going through this at this present time, right, I have to let him go through it. But basically it just needs, I think, like, people talk about villages all the time, but they don't do shit about the villages. They love talking about it. It's a buzzword. Sorry, let me take off the butterfly. It is a buzzword. And it's just sometimes we actually need to be doing it. And that's why people like Nature Boy and others and whoever is able to
Don't
infiltrate.
speak that into my existence.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, I'm just using them as an example, okay? This is why certain things happen and certain people come in, and the mental health ones
true.
find that person, but what they're saying that they're looking for, i.e., I could say spiritual journey, which they're not, but their mental health is not being treated. It's not being treated. So I didn't see Philly Baruha thing. I did see it flash up, but I didn't get a chance to watch it. But I did kind of guess what it was about. But I know that there
It
is
was
an
about
ongoing
Miss Universe.
Yeah, but I know this is an ongoing thing in our community worldwide. So people like see how we're talking now, but sometimes it needs to go beyond the YouTube streets, basically.
Correct. Yeah, Nosy, what you think?
I don't believe in medicine. Like I told y'all, I've seen a psychiatrist. I suffer with depression, bipolar depression.
Okay.
I remember seeing a psych and they gave me Seroquel. Right? I took that thing one time, and when I tell you, I woke up and I couldn't do anything. That was the first and last time I took that stuff. If I, feel like I need something, I will smoke some weed, or I will just look up herbs, to make me feel better. But what made me feel better was just releasing people that didn't serve me. I've changed. Like I told you, I've been celibate for a couple of years now. I was dealing with a guy on and off for like 10 years. I let that go. I had to leave. I had to let my mother go. I had to leave. I had to let a whole lot.
I feel like we're getting to the real juice right now.
Oh, yeah. I feel wonderful, and I be by myself every day.
Nosy, could part of mental illness, like you said, be keeping things in your life that actually cause you mental stress
and pain
when
you love people and they don't love you the same, or when you have their back, you know what I'm saying, when you genuinely happy for somebody, when they accomplish something and they don't show that same love to you, and if you see this, you have to let them go. You have to let these people go. It's too many fake people out here, and I'd just rather be by myself. So I've been finding new friends right here on YouTube. You guys.
Same. I hear what you're saying. Because that's the same for me as well. Because though I have a little outlet myself, I have found myself in different groups on YouTube, strange enough. And I'm normally the outsider. I'm normally the outsider. I was never one to fit in anyway. I was always bullied when I was younger. So I was always different. So I never really fit in. That's one of the reasons why I did go to the conscious community. I think that was one of my pull to go to the Nation of Islam. So so what you're saying is true, because even with my mother, which is a whole nother story. It's a nice story. It's not that bad, but it's okay. It's in between, yeah. But my mum, when you go and sit down. When yeah, go and sit down. Right. When you ask your parents certain things about the past and stuff, and they don't give you the answer, and you work out from the pictures that they have from the past, and they're saying, no, it's not like this, it's not like this, it's like this. But in your heart, because I feel that how that's why I always talk about spirit, because people think spiritual is just it's a word. It's a word that you fling around left, right, and center. Oh, I'm an empath. Fling around left, right, and center. Sometimes, right, you're put in situations which is fight or flight. So I've been in a couple bad situations and a couple good situations, a couple in between situations. So I know for myself, and my girls coming up, right, and my son, because I'm not forgetting him as well, right, that how yeah, there's possibilities that things can go wrong. You can't be perfect. That's why I always in say very strongly, and you heard me say it on my channel too, you can't be perfect. Nobody's life is flawless, because even the most perfectest family, you'll see the most perfectest family out there. Behind closed doors is something else going on, because they would look like everything's sweet and whatever. By this time, right, DV's going on behind closed doors. You don't know. Like, mental health comes at all different stages. I've seen my gran with
It's true.
the D one, that D one, dementia. I see
Mm-hmm.
my grandmother, who was a strong lady, turn into a little small small lady,
Yeah. Fragile, very,
fragile,
yeah.
not herself.
Yeah.
And she was very outspoken lady. She was a very
Mm-hmm.
outspoken lady.
Mm-hmm.
People used to dislike her
Mm-hmm.
because of the way, because of who she was, the
Mm-hmm.
level she was at. There was a lot of jealousy. So I've
A lot of
always
older
hidden
people,
it.
nobody talks about it, but a lot of older people can, do those things as well. They commit the S
Yeah,
as well.
yeah,
Because like you said, they go from very, you know, independent, feeling good, able to move about and start to become restricted in their daily life.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I'm
So,
curious I'm curious to hear what the psychologist has to say.
oh yeah, go on then.
She could be mad.
I'm waiting for the psychologist to come up. Don't play with me. Do not
You
play with
funny.
me. Too early for the bull. Okay, too early. Okay. Um, I want to backtrack on what Yemi said, and she's absolutely right about mental illness. Even the people who claim to have the most perfect life, you have to realize that the universe demands equilibrium at all times. So you can live in a household full of abuse, but then there's people who live in a household where they got everything, and even that serves as its own toxic remedy to um, narcissism in terms of feeling entitled your whole entire life. It can cause its own type of mental disorder, right? So yes, I mean, as far as to add to the conversation, we people grow out of some of those things. With in terms of what Nosy was indicating about her own bipolar, I want to give a short story about that. I had a very close friend who I love dear, and she said she was bipolar, and she would go through manic ups. You know how the bipolar is. I know Nosy can attest to this. They go through periods of downs and ups and downs and ups, right? And
Yes.
I mean, when I tell you, her ups drove me crazy, because one minute she's living her best life, and then next minute she's calling me. She done ran off to the Bahamas with some man that she met like 2 days ago. And I'm like, this is not good. You're going through a stage of manic, right?
Mm.
But what I found when she asked me for help, and I really didn't want to tap into that, because I know bipolar can be it can be a very complex situation for people. Me and her went through a lot of different strategies for her to not to have to take her medicine. She did not want to take medicine. Her medicine was causing her kidney issues, liver
Mm.
issues. It was giving her a lot of organ failures and things like that. Um, so she chose different remedies, but we also had to work on her emotional intelligence. We had to work on her self-awareness. She had to realize that maybe the people around her is not serving her, that they're part of her triggers, right? Then she had to think about her eating habits. She had to focus on what she's eating, because some of the things that we're taking into our system can do a lot to our body and also our mental health. Do you have any idea what sugar can do to the brain?
Yes.
Sugar is a correlation to a lot of mental health. People don't even realize it. Sugar is a correlation to Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's is the shrinking of the
Artificial.
brain.
Can
Right.
we clarify? It's artificial sugars. So
Artificial sugars,
fructose,
right.
yes, fructose is not an issue. It's the sucrose
Right.
and the I'm sorry, not the sucrose, the what do you call it? The sucrose and all of the syrupy man-made foolishness.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All of these are pumped into our community. The fast foods, the artificial sugars, right? The glucose, all of that stuff. All of that is pumped into our communities. And it's pumped into our communities for a reason. It's not just giving us diabetes. They're watching as we rip each other apart. Everything that we we're adjusting into our system is a projection of what we're taking into our bodies.
That's right.
You know, if you love yourself and you take care of yourself, then your projection is love. But you also have to love yourself by what the food that you put into your mouth, right? And the people that you let into your life. It's all part of the equilibrium, right?
And the
The
thoughts
universe
that you keep
demands
in
it.
your mind. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So the universe demands it. It's up to you to make the choice. So I applaud you, Nosy, for saying I had to change my circle. That's it. And then I was all right after that. Sometimes that's all it takes. That's all it takes.
And you want to know it's a big, like a really effective medicine for certain mental illnesses, such as, bipolar disorder, certain manic disorders. You want to know what's a real good remedy or medicine?
Shoot.
What's that?
Forgiveness.
Oh, talk now. Talk now.
I-
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
But that's
Now
for
you're
another day. We're not
That's
going
another
to
day? Okay.
another day.
Not for
Because
mine.
you got me excited for a second. Let me calm down. All right.
Y'all not ready for that one. Y'all not ready for that one.
Sure not. But I feel like every single woman is bipolar in their own way, because we all get our, well, we should all get our periods, right? And when you, I don't know, but when when I was younger, I could feel my attitude change. If you know what I mean. Like you feel,
It's your hormones.
right. So
Okay.
I feel, like, and men get it too. For some reason, men it seems like they have their period sometime, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. I feel you. I had to think about that one time, right? I thought that was part of my limiting belief. Let me tell you why. I was in a relationship with a man who would use my menstrual period as an excuse for his toxic behavior towards me, in terms of saying, oh, I did this because of your funky attitude because you're on your period. Guess what I did? I changed that. I became self-aware. I became mindful. It's about mindfulness. You use mindfulness around that time of month. And then now you had no other excuse. So when he said, oh, I did this because you had your period, it's like, no, I didn't. My period came and went. What are you talking about?
Right.
My period came and went, baby. You just using that as an excuse against me. And so the male counterpart has used that against the women in the community, saying that our menstrual is the cause of our excessive hormones and our reactions to it. I think all we need to do is be mindful of our menstrual cycle and when it's coming, and our thoughts and our emotions surrounding it. And then we can change that. It's very, very changeable. We can change that.
Right. But yeah, but sometimes you be like, damn, and then when your period comes, you be like, oh, that's why I was so emotional. Like, you know what I'm saying? You be like, when
there is emotion surrounding it, though. You're absolutely right, though. Yeah, we just have to be mindful of it when it comes. But we have the power to change it. We actually have the power to change that. We do.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Wow. y'all. Okay, so we are past an hour. We're about an hour and a half, maybe a little bit less in. Um, I'm going to close it out for today. I think we accomplished a lot. I think the conversation was amazing. Eye opening for me. I do want to ask you all, number one, what have you done outside of going to therapy? Because that is a talking point for everyone. Go to therapy, go to therapy, go to therapy. But in my book, I also talk about other alternatives if you believe you can't afford therapy, or if you just don't agree with sitting in front of someone, specifically, outside of what you look like, outside of somebody who mirrors you mentally or physically, and sharing some of your deepest, darkest secrets. What are some things that you've done personally to help you? And Nosy, you said some of it already, to help you get over the hump of, let's say, depression, severe regret, anxiety, anger. What are some things you've done? Anybody can start.
Like what you're doing, affirmations.
Affirmations.
But they have hotlines now. Everybody's going online and telling all their business. That's another therapy that's going on right now as we speak. So like, it's crazy.
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up before we. Oh my God, is social media, posting this stuff on social media, whatever you're going through, is that a form of therapy?
It's a form of more abuse, if you ask me. Because it backfires on people sometimes. They telling too much. You understand?
Thank you. Say it again, Nosy. Say it again.
Yes, they telling too much, and I feel like if you need an outlet, if you need to speak to somebody, you don't want to go to a therapist, you can't afford a therapist. They have all these hotlines now.
Thank you. Yemi, what are some ways to really heal and get help other than therapy?
Well, I still think going to a counselor can help. I mean, obviously,
Absolutely.
right, it's the breath work. I still think is part of it, because like I was working with a PSTD person in America, and I think what helped him was when because his wife was part of the thing as well. The breathing. I told him to write things down, because I believe in writing things down. Yeah, even if you have loads of paper, I have loads of papers where I've written things down. Making that space a special space where you can release yourself, i.e., be away or unload. I mean, my unloading is, not really therapy. My coming out of this environment is the metaverse, the matrix. It's a joyful place. It all depends on how you deal with it, really. But that's part of it. And I think, affirmations, that's another good one. Writing things and stick things on the wall, that's another one. Writing goals. You have to write goals. Like what I'm doing now, I'm trying to study, which is not doing really well because like YouTube keeps distracting me. YouTube keeps distracting me.
Oh, that's a good one. Like turning everything off. Sometimes just shutting this shit down.
Yeah,
it's therapy in itself.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Or luckily I got a good friend who popped up just a while ago and says, Yemi, go and study. I think she's seen me somewhere. I think that's what I think. She said, go and study. I said, yeah, okay. But I'm gonna try. But I am literally gonna try and lock off. I keep creating lives. My thing is, I keep creating lives. I'm a very creative person, innit? So I keep creating
lives. Write them
down.
Just write them down instead of going live. Write them down.
I can't because as soon as it comes, I've got to put it out. So I keep.
Yeah, I asked someone, does she sleep? Yemi be busy. She be busy. I'm like, damn,
Y'all
when
too
do you
much.
sleep?
Y'all are too much.
We know Yemi don't
Um,
sleep.
I'm a very creative person,
You are.
I'm good at thumbnails, and I'm finding new ways of doing things and all this stuff. So I sort of feed off of that, you know what I mean? And
Yes.
because I'm part of two groups, yeah. So plus this one, I think, oh yeah, three groups. I'm part of three groups, isn't it? So on and offline. So I'm kind of like, it's kind of difficult sometimes because like you'll see things will come forward and you'll see BS. My thing is I try not to get Oshun's name. Oshun's name. Which one am I putting? Oshun's name. I
Wrong
can't
point.
put.
Wrong point. Wrong. You gotta go the other way.
I try not to get myself involved. Basically, I try not to get myself. I mean, as you know, Nosy and Real Talk, I am very opinionated because I'm observant. So
Yes.
I'd rather come to you and say, "Ew, watch that person." All right? I'd rather do
And we
that
love that
than
about you.
go to that person because I know, right? If I face that person, they ain't gonna like what I'm gonna say because as quiet as I am, I'm very opinionated, and I don't have to swear at you to get my point across. So that's how I am, and because I got friends that is like that, right? I think when you got friends like that, it kind of rubs off on you in a kind of way. You kind of have a time when you want to talk. Yes, sometimes I stammer, but that's due to passionate. When I'm passionate, I stammer, but I've been
Yemi,
working on.
What has been the thing that has helped you the most to heal from whatever it is that you are going through, whether it be loneliness, whatever, distress of the menacing children in the house. What has helped you?
Well, what I find is right. I've always been a lonesome person, but I've always been surrounded. It's like I'm lonely, but I'm surrounded by loads of people.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be that person who be in the corner. Like there'll be loads of people in the room, and I'll be that person in the room. But somehow people gravitate towards me. For some
Mm-hmm.
people, tend to gravitate towards me. So I don't fight it really, but I find because I talk a lot. I talk a lot now because I used to be very quiet back in the day, very quiet, and I used to put up with a lot of shit. So my children coming up now, my older one, there's one particular child in here. She's very opinionated. So if she sees something that's off kilt, she say, "Oh, mom," she's tell me, and then I have to analyze it because I'm Sagittarius. You know, Sagittarius.
Yemi,
We
answer my
tend to.
question.
Oh, did I not answer? I do all
I'm trying to
Yemi
wrap
going
this up.
on.
Too funny.
the
OMG.
question. Okay. What helped my depression? My daughter. I think my daughter. Yeah.
Thank you,
Sorry.
Yemi. You know we love you. You know we love you.
Oh
Definitely.
yes. Oh yes, we do. We love our Yummy, honey. Poor little tink. Poor little tink.
Ivy Ravine, you know I'm coming for you.
um I guess the best way to put it is, what is my, I reach for my purpose, right? If you have a purpose, you never are lonely. You discover what makes you happy. When I think about Yemi, like you said, everybody's like, Yemi don't sleep, but Yemi's empowered. She's empowered by something. Something's giving her the fire. Something is making her lack sleep, and she don't even feel it. That's a fire
Yes, I need that
inside,
fire.
right? So when we discover that fire in us,
Wow.
you're never lonely. You have a purpose. You reach for something, right? And then you constantly implement that in your life. Prior to me going to counseling, prior to me going to therapy and going to recovery, coda recovery, was this. When I discovered what my pain point was, when I discovered that I had broken relationships and I'm overextending myself for people who don't reciprocate my love, right? And I changed my arena and I changed my circumstances, and I rediscovered who I am, and I did self inventory on who I wanted to stay and who I wanted to go, right? When I did that and I learned that it worked for me, I taught it. This is what I tell people. Learn something about yourself and then teach others.
That's right.
And when you teach others, it's your biggest fulfillment, because then you're never alone. You have people who are internally grateful for the knowledge that you gave them, right? And you're surrounded by people who just are grateful for getting them out of the same rut that you got out of years ago. So I'm always busy, girl. I'm like you, Yemi. I get no sleep, but nobody know that about me because I ain't online. I want to touch people in my community. I like to get out the door. I like to touch. I like to be one with nature, right? So I get off of this social media experiment. I only drop in every now and then to support my people that I love. Yemi, real talk. And now Nosy, I'm coming to check you, lady. Okay.
Thank you.
I only jump on to support. But what I'm trying to tell people is, yes, social media is a social experiment.
That's what it
And
is.
so we have to watch the energy that we bring into our lives. And if you notice, it's very toxic, right?
Very.
So,
I see
yes.
what you're saying.
Yes. So disconnect from that toxicity and be part of your community and teach what you've learned. Find your pain point and learn from it and teach it. That's my spiel today.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
Wow. Thank you.
Look. Ivy don't play.
Go on, and then I'll talk after you, Nosy.
Ivy don't play, y'all. Go ahead, Nose.
What you want me? I thought I said it already.
Oh, I thought you had something else to say. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because I was tired. I was literally tired yesterday because I feel that how I was so ready for Claire's thing, what she was gonna say. I was so set up. I was waiting. I didn't even bathe. I was sitting there at the computer, waiting, checking the Gmail, checking this, and then when she came on, right, I said I was doing the back chat and I was saying to her, I'm just gonna go, but I'll be checking on you. I'll be hovering and all that, because I feel when you meet people like that. Right, she has a story, and I feel when somebody has a story like that, where she's been in coma for how long? She was in a coma, I can't remember for how long. And I was thinking, why haven't nobody projected her on YouTube? Like, she hasn't got a channel. You need to project people like that with stories. And I feel that after that, because I did that, I was so tired afterwards. I think that was for the first time I was tired for the first time. But I feel that because I gave my energy to her. And so even in the video, I was looking at myself. My face was all swollen up because I really feel. No, honestly, I really feel that how, right? Like when you're dealing with people with certain things, right? You tend to take on their energy. I feel I took on her whatever she was dealing with, and on top of that, I was sitting there and I had stuff going on, so I was trying not to, I quickly put on a hoodie. My hoodie was all bleached out and shit. I came onto the live with a bleached out hoodie, literally, right? But the way I was sitting, I was trying to hide it and all that because her story was more important than how I looked. And I thought, yeah, just say to people whatever. Then she brought up a couple other stuff, and I was like, okay. But I said to her,
don't forget.
I said to her.
But don't forget, the most important thing, more important than her story, is the babies you got in their background.
Yeah.
Okay? Don't let go of that.
Yeah, so that's why, because you're supposed to really talk about the menopause. I like people. Right. I'm like nosy. I mean, not nosy. Sorry, real talk. I like to stay on subject. I really like to stay on subject. If I'm talking about that, we talk about that. Because she left from that and went somewhere else. So I said to her, I'm gonna cut that. I'm gonna cut the video up.
That's
so
right.
One time I'm gonna cut it up.
That's right.
Because it just went somewhere else, and
they were taking me off of my path. That's right. That's right.
That's it.
That's right. All right, you guys. Thank you again so much. Listen, this right here, this foursome right here, I'm loving it. I love y'all. You understand?
You got it.
I'm sorry, I'm blushing now.
You so sweet, Yemi.
She is. She a doll baby.
Yes, I love me some Yemi. I love awesome.
It's like I'm not. You know what? Like you know what? I've always not used to. I never used to say I love you to my children and stuff, and then I gradually learned it. So when people say it to me, or say, "Oh yeah, you're nice," "Oh you're good," I'm like,
Oh, Yummy, stop. You know what? Affirmation time.
All right.
Y'all gotta help me with this one. Hold on. Yummy, I want you to repeat after me. You ready?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, ready.
I need you to close your eyes.
Oh, come on.
I want you to say these words.
Hmm.
Well, I don't know your real name. What's your real name, Mama?
Do I have to say my real name on here?
Say it in your mind. Say it in your mind. Say it in your mind. Say, I love you. Say your name, and I want you to say, I love you.
I love you.
Say it again.
I love you.
Say, when no one else loves you, I love you.
When no one else loves you, I love you.
I love you for you.
I love you for you.
I love you for your babies.
I love you for your babies.
I love you for your talent.
I love you for your talent.
I love you for your optimism.
I love you for your optimism.
I love you for all the things that you have gotten us through.
I love you for all the things you've gotten us through.
And for all the things you have gotten us out of.
And all the things you've gotten us out of.
I love you for the things that are to come.
I love you for the things that are to come.
And I love you for letting the things that did not serve us in the past, for leaving it in the past.
I love you for the things that you have left in the past.
That's right.
Go to the English accent.
That's okay. And that's it. That's it. That's the affirmation for today for you.
There you go.
Oh, okay.
There you go. I'm loving this.
That's right.
That's right.
You guys. Okay. For all of y'all who y'all know, I will probably call y'all in like an hour or less.
I ain't even got my device. How you gonna call me, girl? I ain't got my device. I'm on laptop.
Okay. Well, you hit me up when you ain't on laptop. I'm going to y'all know how I do. I'll talk to y'all on the back end. I'm ready to get up off of this computer.
I know that's right.
Yeah.
Nosy, hit me up. Ivy, hit me up. Whenever y'all free. I know y'all all busy.
No, I'm free whenever. I told you I'm going around your schedule because you got the babies. I don't have no babies over here. It's just me.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Same here.
Okay. And so for anyone who is watching, please subscribe to Real Talk TV. Please subscribe to Nosy Bitch TV. Is that what it is, or just Bitch?
Nosy Bitch TV.
Please subscribe to Nosy Bitch TV. Ivy Ravine has a channel. I think it is just Ivy Ravine.
Yes, it's Ivy Ravine.
Okay. And then we have Ocean Yemi. Please subscribe to our channels. We offer so much more than gossip. We all offer a bond, a sisterhood, insight, and conversation, and feel goodness, whatever that is. So subscribe to us. Like, share, comment, and until next time.
Later.
Peace.
All right, y'all.
Later, y'all.
Bye, everyone.
Okay.